Hi, it's Agnes again, and today I wanted to talk about reassurance. Now, I'm seeing a lot of in the emails, in some of the stuff that you're telling me about going to psychics, looking on Facebook, looking on Instagram, asking other people to revise for you a lot, that when you are looking for reassurance on the outside, it actually doesn't help you to understand and know that you are a conscious creator or a conscious selector, because we know everything's created, you're actually selecting the outcome that you want. So I wanted to address this a little bit more than I did in the first reassurance YouTube, that when you go to a psychic, there's nothing wrong with psychics, okay? Nothing wrong with anything that you choose to do. But if you're going to a psychic to try and get an answer that you want to hear, and then you hear the reverse, and then it throws you back emotionally really badly, like some of you getting messages that say you're never going to be with that person again, they've actually moved on and they've got someone else in the wings. If you get that kind of information, it has the ability to really knock you off your perch. I mean, I remember once when I still did that stuff, I remember a psychic telling me something about a person I really, really wanted to be with at the time. And I heard something to that effect, and I couldn't eat or sleep for 6 months. It affected me so badly. I lost 2 sizes of weight, and it really, really knocked me because I believed it. And yeah, I mean, if you're strong enough to go and hear something that you don't want to hear and then go, oh, well, that's okay, well, by all means go. But if you're really looking for an answer of something you want to hear, remember the possibility that it might not be what you want. And also, I personally believe sometimes that psychics can read where you're at, and if you're in massive amounts of fear, remember the psychic is you pushed out too. So they read your energy. All your fear of I'm not going to get, I'm not going to get, I'm not going to get, then gets reflected back to you by mediums, by psychics, by tarot readers, by any of that stuff. So personally, in my own life, I don't go to any of those things anymore, not because I think they're bad, but because I know I am the conscious creator and I want to get better at it. And stopping looking for reassurance on the outside has meant that self-reliance has been developed, and then using imagination to create therefore creates results, and then the results come back, and then you get more and more and more confidence. So also, you know, I see a lot in certain Facebook groups people asking other people to revise for them constantly. Now, I know Neville revised for certain people, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But when you're always looking for people to revise for you, again, you aren't developing the skill yourself. And if certain people aren't around, you're basically screwed. So good to learn to do the revision for yourself, especially on those issues that are matters of the heart or money or, you know, anything that's kicking your butt. It is good to get good at revision. And then you become a black belt in manifesting, and then eventually you've got a really, really great sense of confidence about your ability to create, okay? Also, the looking on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, whatever it is, there comes a point where if you really, really want to create stuff, you stop doing that stuff and you set a bottom line for yourself about, I don't care what I have to do, even if that urgency comes up to go and check, just don't do it to yourself, okay? Ring a friend, go out, run around the block, go do affirmations, go do a meditation, intervene on yourself, and do not allow yourself to act as a needy person who needs reassurance again, because sometimes you go there and you see stuff you don't want to see. If you look for stuff you don't want to see, you end up seeing stuff you don't want to see, and then you hurt yourself again. So, of course, at the end of the day, totally up to you. This is just my opinion. So, yeah. And also that thing of watching movies about betrayal and watching unfaithful stuff, this kind of weird mental obsession with watching people go through the emotional pain and stress that you've been through kind of brings you some relief. Well, you know what you focus on, you get. So if you keep watching that stuff, you keep looking at that stuff, you keep reading the books about that stuff, you keep looking at trashy magazines of breakups, then you then plug in your socket to that, and then you are creating that for yourself. So an alternative is to read really fantastic books about people that have wonderful love lives, like the one I read not long ago about Michelle Obama and Barack Obama, the love story, and it was a wonderful story of a beautiful connection. So look for those kind of books, because that kind of pushes you in the direction that you want to go. Okay, so that's all. Signing off, and hope that I hear some wonderful manifesting things in the thread down below, as always. And I will put some little bits and pieces down there, as I always do. Okay, ciao, ciao.